Hi, it's Tracy from Crafty Misty. So I'm going to make an envelope mini album for you, and I'm going to start with some Christmas papers from Belle and Boo. We're going to take a piece of thick white cardstock and I'm going to cut that at 8 by 4.5 inches, and along the 8-inch side I'm going to score it at 3.5 and 4.5. You need to get a piece of coloured cardstock, and you need 4 large pieces and 2 small pieces, and that will mat the outside and the inside of your mini album. And you're also going to need pattern paper for the outside and inside. Same again, 4 larger pieces and 2 smaller pieces, and all the dimensions will be on my blog. This is my first video, so apologies if it's not great. You can see me just checking sizes there. I always doubt myself. Now I took some walnut stain distress ink and an ink blending tool and just inked the edges of my white piece of cardstock and all of my crease lines, as well as you will be able to see them. So just inked around all the edge of that, and I also inked around the coloured cardstock, and I really carefully inked around my patterned paper as well. I didn't want any of that ink to go on the front of the pattern and ruin it. As it's quite a plain album, there's not any embellishments or anything. So I wanted to make sure that the paper wasn't ruined when I already put it on. Now I'm using liquid glue, and that is only because I ran out of double-sided tape. So I'm going to stick my coloured pieces of cardstock onto my album cover. You do that on the outside and on the inside, and then I'm going to take my patterned paper and that will go on top of the coloured pieces of cardstock. It was a really good glue, but it was really hard to get out of the bottle, so you'll see me struggling quite a lot. And that is the pattern paper that I used for the inside of the album. Now the next stage, you're going to need 8 pieces of your patterned paper, and you need to cut them down to 6 by 6. You need to take your envelope punch board, and your first score needs to be at 2 5/8 of an inch. Now score and punch all the way around. I rounded my corners, and then you need to chop the top off of the envelope because you're not going to need that part. Now you need to secure the right hand side of your envelopes, but leave the left side loose for now. And take some twine, and you need to tie around the left side of your envelopes. Doesn't need to be particularly neat, you can just knot it, but it does need to be quite snug against it, but not so much that you can't get your fingers down it. And once that's round, you can secure that left hand side as well. Now start making the tags that are going to go into the envelopes, and I'm using a tag topper punch. Now I've made this in cherry cobbler cardstock from Stampin' Up, but I ended up changing it out for some real red. I just felt it went nicer with the pattern paper. Now I managed to delete me making my binding somehow, so what you need is a piece of the thick white cardstock, and you need to cut that at 3 inches by 4 inches. On the 3-inch side you need to score in 1/2 inch on each side, and then in the middle part you need to score at every 3/8 of an inch. And that will make that middle part nice and flexible, but keep the outside edges nice and firm. So first you want to secure that part together so there's no way that any of those envelopes can come loose. And then once that's dry, you need to secure that part onto the inside of your mini album. Like I said, if I had tape, it would have been a lot easier, but I was just working with what I had. I'm just going to leave that flat for a little while to help the glue to stick. I've got some ribbon and the same baker's twine that I used for the envelopes, although in the finished tags I ended up not using any baker's twine. Sorry if you can hear the dog going crazy. She's quite vocal. So there I'm just playing around with stuff. Like I said, I ended up changing out the tags and I just used the ribbon, no baker's twine, because it didn't bring anything to it for me, it just looked a bit weird. But yeah, all in all, the album took me about an hour. So here it is finished. I think it'll make a really lovely gift for someone for Christmas. That's what we're doing. And I hope you enjoyed this video and I hope to see you again. Subscribe if you like. Thank you.